Welcome to the 7 Minutes to Better Selling podcast. I'm your host, Colin Lake, president and founder of Developing the Next Leaders.
Hey, Colin, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm thrilled you're here, and we'll get caught up in a second from from our personal perspective. But Tim is the national/international business development lead for Pilot, which he'll tell you a bit more about it. But we are on the heels of Memorial Day. And I think it's important to note, and Tim, hopefully you can share a bit more about that in your past. Tim has done a wonderful job at serving our country over a long period of time, multiple times coming back in to serve our country. So, Tim, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on in reference to Memorial Day. Yeah, I spent
Tell
22
us about yourself.
Yeah.
How the heck do you get to where you are today? You've done some amazing things over the last 25 years. How do you get here?
I spent 22 and a half years serving United States Navy. I've spent 4,000 flight hours flying in C-130s and spent about bunches of time overseas, been to about 85 different countries. I went in the Navy in September of 92. It's almost 30 years ago. So I served in the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. It gave me a unique background to where I am today, and that I dealt with people all over the world, internationally, nationally. So having spent 4,000 flight hours in the air, I mean, just imagine the time interacting with people. I mean, thousands of different people. And one of the things that I chatted with you about is we were actually rated for our customer service because we had passengers on our aircraft. And that kind of led me to where I am today. We used to get paper documents about a 0 to 10 rating about how well we interacted with the crew and the passengers and the like. And then towards that time when I got out, they were using phone applications to rate us. So even the military gets rated on their customer service ability and how well they do their job. So it was kind of unique and kind of leads to where I am today.
And so, Tim, you're taking people from like point A to point B, and like it's perhaps like other military, and they're rating you on how that whole process went.
Oh, absolutely. Was it comfortable? Was it timely? Did they do a good job? Did the people that were serving them, did they seem professional? I mean, think about it. You're going from the Middle East to California, and you're taking almost days to get there. You wanted to make it to be a comfortable, enjoyable experience, regardless of the situation. There were times we were taking people out of really hot areas, and they wanted to get the heck out of there.
Oh my gosh, that's just so cool. Okay, so maybe dovetailing from that thought is you come into this sales world with all of that life experience. And so you see the sales world from a different perspective, which is why I'm so excited to hear your perspective. So the sales world is under pressure to an extent. Like people are like, I can get your information. I don't necessarily need you to tell me like about your product. I can figure that out on your website. So like what from an opportunity perspective have you recognized, or would you suggest other people should pay attention to that salespeople have today?
The most important thing is establishing a relationship, a valuable relationship on both ends. Every successful company out there today uses a CRM system, a customer relationship management system.
Right.
The most important part in my mind is the relationship. I look back on my time in the military. I look back into my time in the private sector, and it's those relationships I find so valuable. At the end of the day, the selling experience, are you going to go to somebody you don't know? Or are you going to go to somebody you don't like? Or are you going to go to somebody you think of as a friend? And the beginning of that relationship, beginning of that sales experience is, hey, I'm starting a friendship. Think about that. It's valuable on so many different areas. One, yes, they're going to go to and buy from a person that they think of as a friend, but they're also going to be honest with you. When you make a mistake, who's the first person to tell you on a normal basis? It's your friend. They're going to tell you, hey, you didn't do this right. And they're going to be able to fix it for them. Oh my gosh, you're even building up the relationship even more.
Let me ask you this, Tim. I listened to a podcast from Ryan Russillo. He's a sportscaster on ESPN and I think other places as well. He had Charles Barkley on there. Charles Barkley, the retired NBA basketball player. And he said, if a normal person wants to strike up a friendship with you, how do they do it? And Barkley's answer was, they can't. They can't. I'm not just going to strike up a relationship out of thin air with someone I don't know. so using that as the backdrop, how do you, like, you come from 21 to 22 and a half years of service from the country and you come into the sales world, how do you strike up relationships quick? Like, how do you make that happen fast, like in the introduction phase of the conversation?
It's solving a problem more often than not. Person is going to come to you, especially in my world where I sit now in the travel industry. They have a problem, they have an issue, they need to fill a gap in there. If I am initially able to fill that gap, it almost doesn't even come down to price anymore. It comes down to, that's great, I need this fixed right now. At the end of the day, being a problem solver for folks that have, I mean, even $1 million issues on the horizon. I mean, how much more valuable can a person be for that entity, that industry, that organization?
Yeah, that is really valuable perspective. And here's where, like, we're on the same, like, exact same wavelength. Like, I've got to do a little bit of research if I'm going to reach out to someone and try and strike up a relationship with them so that I can ultimately be, they can be a client of mine, I can sell them something. I have to, like, do enough research to identify, like, where the issues may lie or may be, and then come in as that resource to provide that, because that's the ultimate building block of trust. Like, I've solved something was unsolvable up until now.
Yeah.
Then that's that building block of trust, which of course trust builds relationship.
And you just picked up something. You're doing research to be able to be available to your customers. If you enjoy that, if that's in your world, regardless of your industry, if you like get down to the granular data of what's going on, what's all coming up on the horizon, if you enjoy that, which I love. I mean, had to learn about a multi-million-dollar aircraft out of the blue, 20 years ago, and become a subject matter expert. And this just leads into what I'm doing today. I need to know. And if you're available, if you're, energetic about gaining that new knowledge on a regular basis, dude, you're going to love your job.
Tim, how do they find you? How do they find more about Pilot? How do they find out more about you in terms of getting connected with you?
Yeah. We're all over the internet. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. Pilot.com is a great resource. And just to give you a visual, our number one product that we like to sell is our sequential LED flares. It's just a good visual right there. This replaces the old fusee flares that used to have to light off the side of the road. You see police officers at an incident on the turnpike. This replaces those. And the cool thing about it now, and I talked about it earlier, is connectivity. So if you just Google that, there's that type of information, pilot.com. We got some really good videos on there. And I'm Tim@pilot.com is my email address. You can reach out to me. So.
Yeah, please do reach out to me. How about, like, LinkedIn? Where are you on social? Is LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. I post on a regular basis. Our videos are all over there. Check us out on YouTube, pilot.com. We try to make our safe as available as possible on social media.